Good afternoon, everybody. This is Bev here at Clerical Vision, and today I'm going to ramble on about my Amazon purchase from, well, I think it was about a month ago, I guess the whole thing started, and it was delivered today. And I'm pleased to say, thankfully, it was just a tiny, minor piece of damage which I can deal with. It's not the end of the world by any means, so I'm quite happy. Now, I discovered this band on YouTube a while back, a couple of months ago, and somebody has uploaded the full EP. It's an EP I'm showing. So it's all there to listen to. I will leave a link below to one of the songs or the full EP down here in case anybody is interested in listening to them. But anyway, I discovered them on YouTube, and the songs I was hearing, I thought, that's actually not too bad. Quite like that. So then I decided to go and investigate the internet to see if it was easily available, and no, couldn't find it anywhere. I then learned that there has recently been a reissue of this EP, but even said the reissue is still not the easiest thing in the world to find. So I was on Amazon and came across it listed on Amazon, and Amazon themselves didn't have it, but there was like a third-party seller, I believe, or so it seemed. I'm still trying to decide, to be honest. It's just the way Amazon had it listed. It was as if Amazon had it, but it would be coming from Amazon Europe. So I'm thinking, right, okay, well I've had that before. You order something through Amazon as normal, and it's fulfilled by Amazon, but it's coming in from mainland Europe rather than already being here in the UK. So ordered it, and I think I ordered something else on the same day, and it was a couple of audio cables for my dad, and they came no problem within a day or two, and they emailed me with a generic email saying, we'll email you as soon as we have a date, a dispatch date for this item. And I'm thinking, right, okay, surely it can't take them too long to figure that out. And a week went by, 2 weeks went by, I got another email, we've still not got an update on the dispatch date, we'll let you know as soon as possible. Another week went by, and I think towards getting on for 4 weeks, I was getting fed up. So I decided to cancel it. So we'll leave it for now. I can't be bothered with the hassle. So cancelled that. And right enough, they refunded me. Because that was the other thing that I found interesting about it. Normally, Amazon don't take the money off you until it's actually dispatched. But I had noticed in this case, they had taken the money off me, and yet they didn't have a dispatch date, and this was annoying me. However, I was watching my bank account, and they did refund me. So, and then I thought, I just had an idea. I thought, it seemed to be in Europe somewhere, because after I had cancelled it on Amazon UK, I went to search for it again, and it was no longer listed. It seemed to have been removed. I went onto Amazon Germany, they didn't have it, and I went on to Amazon France, and it came up there, and they did have it. It was slightly different amount, it was around about the same price, but it was euros, but there's a minute difference because the pound's pretty much knackered at the moment. That's due to some other reasons which we'll not mention. So anyway, it was and there was a postage fee of £1.64 or something stupid like that. I thought, well, that's fine, I can cope with that. So I ordered it through, I went to see if it would log me in under my same account, and it did. So, of course, the only problem with that is the whole website's in French, but if you know your way around Amazon quite well, you can navigate through it pretty easily. So I ordered it, and of course, I thought, I'll see what happens here. And I got an email from them saying, thank you for your order, blah, 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 we'll let you know. At the moment, it's estimated to be delivered between October and December. I thought, right, okay. And then a couple of days later, I got another email from them saying, we've got good news. We're delighted to tell you that your dispatch date has been moved to I don't know what it was, some date last week, the 25th or 26th of September. Estimated delivery date was going to be between the 29th and the 30th of September. So today being the 29th, it came today. And right enough, I got a further email from Amazon France saying your item will be delivered today, and right enough, about lunchtime, it was delivered. So Amazon France must have got their act together and had this somewhere, or had a third-party seller who they got it from or something. But it was a very odd experience trying to get hold of this. However, I've got it. I'm quite glad I've got it. For an EP, it's a bit pricey. This is the reissued version, and it's on No Remorse Records. So the band in question is Parasite. That's the name of the band. They were a Swedish 4-piece band. They formed about 1981. And they spent most of their early time, the first couple of years, I think, in the underground sort of scene. They eventually managed to produce an EP in 1984, which is this, self-titled, and there was 4 songs on it. And that was it. That's the only thing this band ever released was this EP in 1984. They also have there was kicking around some demo tapes and some rehearsals from 1983, which has been put onto this reissue. So this is a reissue of the EP, as I say, No Remorse Records, who are, I think they're a Greek label, because it's noremorse.gr, so I'm assuming that's Greece. And that is it. And so on side 1, it's listed as 5 tracks, but the first one, which is called In the Beginning, it's just like an intro thing. And then you've got the 4 main tracks. And on side 2, you have a couple of demos from 83, and a couple of rehearsals of another 2 songs. So side 1, In the Beginning, is your intro. Then you've got the tracks that were on the original EP, Burnin', Night Winds, Chalice of the Soul, and Lonely Eagle. These were on the original EP. And then on side 2, you've got a demo of a song called What's Going On, another one, Glimmering Steel. Then you've got a demo of Night Winds, which is on side A. And you have another 2 songs which are the rehearsals, one called In the Night, and one is actually on here, it's called Untitled Song. So I'm guessing at this point they hadn't even come up with a name for this last song. You can certainly tell that the tracks on side 2 are of demo quality or rehearsal quality. It's kind of like the band are just rehearsing in a room or a studio somewhere. So I don't know a huge amount about the history of the band, but I know a little bit. But this was the only thing ever released by these guys. And why I decided to go for it was because I liked the songs I was hearing. The tracks that they have made the original EP, the first 4 tracks, they're very, and this came out in 1984, but they're a very kind of for a Swedish band, they sound like they could have come out with a new wave of British heavy metal in, say, 81 or 82, a couple of years earlier. I think they have hints, there's early elements of, you know, the new wave of British heavy metal, sort of the early Iron Maiden kind of thing. There's some good guitar solos in a couple of the songs, a couple of upbeat, fast-paced songs, catchy riffs. I'm thinking maybe, I don't know, something. I read a review, and one guy in one of the reviews of this said he mentioned elements of Angel Witch, and I can't remember the other band off the top of my head, but I like this. It's basically very traditional new wave of British heavy metal sounding. That's what this is. So if you kind of like that, you may like this. I wouldn't say it was overly amazing. It was certainly nothing new for the time, 1984. If somewhat it might have been maybe a year or two late. And for some reason they never came out with anything else. I don't know if it's just they never got a label interested enough to sign them. But this is, it's a very nice repress on No Remorse. You get a lyric sheet. On this side there is pictures of the band. You can sort of see they kind of look a bit early 80s heavy metal, traditional sounding heavy metal. Down here, that's the index card for their demo tape, which has the demos and the rehearsal songs, I think. And on this side, you've got the lyrics to the songs here, and in the centre here you've got the band history tree, as they call it. Now the blocks in red are the Parasite lineups, the official Parasite lineups through the times. So Parasite initially formed about 1980, and I think it's Parasite Mark II is the actual lineup that recorded this EP. And then in 1985 the lineup changed, and I think by 1986 they split up. So I thought that was kind of interesting. And the record itself is just plain black vinyl. And a fairly plain label actually, Parasite and No Remorse Records, and it is a 2018 reissue. So, and it plays fine. There is a couple of surface marks, but I'm guessing it's due to the paper sleeve it came in. And thankfully the only bit of damage was just at the top edge here. Again, like I've had before, it's as if the record was trying to burst through but didn't quite make it. It's not actually a split. So, but yeah, so that is my saga about that Amazon France item, which seemed to work out fine. It's just that all your correspondence will be in French if you happen to ever do something like that yourself, if you're from the UK. I tried to order something from Amazon Japan once, and it didn't work. When I tried to log in with my details, it didn't recognise me, so clearly I'm guessing because Japan's not in the EU, and I'm guessing perhaps because the UK and France and all that are in the EU. I don't know if it's just a regional thing or whatever on the globe, where your account will work in some places and not in others. So that's it. I leave a link to Parasite below, and you can have a sample if you wish. A couple of other things. Yesterday I swung by a couple of charity shops and I came home with 3 CDs. One of them is a bit of it's a soundtrack grail actually. It's one of the very few soundtracks I am after, because I'm not a big soundtrack person, but I saw this, just glanced over at the soundtrack shelf, and because this was an Oxfam, so they have everything arranged, and lo and behold, Here is what I saw at the Back to the Future soundtrack on MCA. The original movie soundtrack, this is 1985. I have been hunting for this. I wasn't bothered if I found the CD or the record, but you know, obviously it's got some good classics. It's got, you know, The Power of Love and Time Bomb Town. Eric Clapton's on here, Heaven is One Step Away. I can't even recall what that song is off the top of my head, but I'll remember it once I hear it. Johnny B. Good and Earth Angel, of course, are done by Marty McFly, and so it's kind of like the movie versions, not the originals. And also you've got the Back to the Future score. I really wanted those as well. So you've got the the sort of beginning part, which is 3 minutes 17, and then you've got the overture, which is the full thing. It's about 8 minutes 16, it says, according to the CD. So original CD, I was really happy to find that. And another one I picked up, which is not rock or metal at all. It's actually 80s pop, and it is Tanita Tikaram and her album Ancient Heart. I think this was the first album from her back in the day. This came out in 1988, and she had there's 3 songs on here I recall which were her hits, I think, off of this. There was Good Tradition, that was the first one. Cathedral song, I think, was another. And there's Twist in My Sobriety, which I recall that one. When this came out, when I first heard Good Tradition from Tanita Tikaram, I hated the song. I thought at the time, what a load of rubbish that is. And she sounds like a man, but she's one of these female vocalists that's got quite a deep sounding voice. It's one of these ones where you would think, is that a man or a woman singing, you know, because it was kind of I used to think that about Alison Moyet before I realised who she was as well. There was a couple of her songs where I thought it was a bloke singing. But there you go. You live and learn as time goes on. So this is in really nice condition too. It's even got a hype sticker on it. Includes the 3 hits I just mentioned. There's other songs I've no idea about, but I just wanted to pick it up. Because now I do quite like some of that. I thought it would be fun to pick up. And it's in beautiful condition as well. It's immaculate. It's as if the disc's hardly been played, because there is not a mark on this side at all. And this is on WEA International, WEA Records, yeah, WEA. And the third CD I picked up, Overkill and Ironbound, Nuclear Blast. This is from 2010. So there, that is another one. Again, it's in lovely condition. There's a couple of scuffs on the jewel case, but the inner and the disc itself is absolutely spotless. There's one light scuff. So there. Now, Overkill's not for myself. I didn't pick this up for myself. This will be going to somebody's VCLT, but as of who, I don't know yet. I haven't decided. What you can do though is, if you do have this album in your collection, Ironbound by Overkill, let me know that you have got it, so I know who not to send it to. And so I can eliminate you guys from who it's going to. So that is that. And the final thing before I sign off of my blabbering here is I just want to give a new channel shout out to somebody. I discovered them this morning myself. He has currently 9 subscribers, so we have to get that sorted out, people. So I would just like to ask if you could go and subscribe. I will put a link below to his channel. His name is Phil West, and that's his channel name as well. He's a Canadian. He is from, I think, British Columbia, and I discovered him through Bernard Jones' channel, who also has just changed his channel name from Bernard John. I gave a shout out to him a while back as well. I'll put both of them down because if you've not subbed to either, Bernard's got a great channel. He's into lots of rock stuff, hard rock, melodic rock, AOR, that kind of stuff. And Phil West, I don't know much about him, but I believe he is a big Status Quo fan. He likes Queen. These are two bands I went, so he's into the hard rock kind of group field. I'm not sure how far he expands in either direction on that, if he goes really heavy or kind of soft rock or whatever. I'm just getting to know him myself, but I've subscribed to support him, so if you would please check them out below and give him a sub and some support, barely, when I put my teeth in. Right, anyway, take care, I'll see you all later on. Bye just now.